What's up, YouTube? Wes here. Today I'm going to show you how I grind chain on the Oregon 420-120 chain grinder. First, I set my head tilt at 55 degrees, and then I put my chain angle at about 27 degrees. I've made a mark in between 25 and 30, and then I go in between 25 and that mark. And then a lot of people say you have to grind every tooth the same to find your smallest or worst tooth and set this to that tooth and then grind all the same. I don't do that just because I find that you end up taking a lot of the cutter tooth away on some teeth that you don't have to do that. And with doing that, if you do it like that, then you won't be able to use this to file your depth gauges. Or you can, but you're gonna have to check it and reset it every time. So what I do is I'll grind my chain, and then once I get finished with my teeth, I'll take it and put it back on my saw and hand file my rakers just like you would if you was hand filing your chain. And then that way you set the raker for each individual tooth. You can use this to do your depth gauges, but you have to file all your teeth the same to make sure that your rakers are set. If your rakers are lower on one side than they are the other, then your chain will cut crooked. And I found that angle that I use is pretty well the factory angle. As you can see, that fits perfect. There's no gap really. So that's the way I do it. And I leave this, the tilt, the gullet tilt, I guess you would call it, at 0. That's the way I file or grind the chain, just because if you tilt it, it leaves the gullet a little broad, I think. Let's see. Broad like that, and you may want it like that, but I just don't prefer it. I come back and that's what you got at the angle. And then if you do it like that, I'm gonna bump this up just a little bit, re-grind it. We'll see what we get like that. quite as broad. So say that I leave that tooth like that and leave all the rest of them like that. Okay, I take it over to my bar and my saw. I slap it on there. I just grab my raker gauge, come through and lay it up there. File this raker for this individual tooth. File this raker for that individual tooth, and so on and so forth. And as long as all your rakers are set to the tooth, then you're gonna cut straight. And as long as both sides of the chain is equally sharp, you'll cut straight. You won't be cutting at an angle. Now, if you come in and do these teeth different sizes and try to use this and set your depth to this tooth, and then file this raker and this raker the same with this tooth being larger, and then you're going to be cutting crooked. And that will be aggravating. So like I say, you can do it either way. You can file them all the same, or you don't necessarily have to. There's a lot of people say that you've got to. You don't necessarily have to. It takes a little more time filing, hand filing it, but you save chain in the long run. This is just my little bit of input and kind of how I grind chain. Thanks, and have a great day.